Hello, and welcome back to the Pigeon Tarot podcast. For our topic today, I wanted to talk about obsessions in a very light manner, okay? I'm sure we have all at some point become fixated on something, maybe even a little hyper fixated. But does it go so far as it interferes with you living your life, right? I've seen many instances, right, where people can get obsessed with tarot to a point where they can't make any decisions for themselves without consulting the deck first. We're not going to talk a whole lot about specifically tarot. We're going to broaden that up a bit. But there are many things, people can form obsessions over, fixations over. Those two terms are very different. Okay, look them up. But watch out when that obsession starts to become your, a source of distress for you, and it starts to affect your everyday life. When it becomes something you can no longer control, and it might even start to control you. Now, I'm looking rather lightly at the topic, as I said, but if you do feel your obsession is negatively affecting you and your life, you might want to think about reaching out to somebody who might be able to help you, and not a tarot reader, okay? So, let's see if the cards can kind of direct us in a more helpful way, and then, let's try to use this in a helpful way instead of, using tarot as a more obsessive focused way, right? Okay. The card that you're going to think about most, right? What pops into your head when it comes to obsession, that should be the devil. Stuck in a trap, of your own creation that we can't quite move away from, though we are free to do so if we really want to, right? But let's pull a card here to help guide us through the episode. Shuffle twice. All right, the card we have is the Two of Wands in reverse. I think that's good, okay? So there is this whole world beyond our little bubble that we have created for ourselves, but we are kind of stuck in that bubble. We may fear letting go of the things that bring us comfort, that are close to us, right? That bring us security. Or we have difficulties in taking the jump to move away and pursue what we want to go after, those goals that we want. Obsessions sometimes bring us comfort in a strange ways. But they also impede our growth, So I think that's where we stand with that Two of Wands in reverse. We're not able to move forward in our life in the way that we should be moving. So let's see if we can get to a point where we can move beyond our obsession and look towards something a little bigger. I think for this one, we're just going to go where we pull 3 cards, see what it says. We're not going to assign a meaning to any specific position as we did the first couple of episodes. All right, our first question that I've chosen, and this may seem like a strange question, but it's actually very common, okay? Especially with us who might be a little bit more introverted, I would say. I've gone through it myself when I was younger. So, have you ever been obsessed with a fictional story, a TV show, a movie, or specifically a fictional character that to you seems like a very real person? Like, they're not real, but you can very much imagine this as a real person. And especially when you are alone or tend to isolate yourself, you can get very invested into the fictional world. So think of that Two of Wands, where we are stuck in this position, unwilling to kind of move from our place of security and just be invested in what kind of brings us that more false sense of security. So our question here comes from Buggy, who does not have many relationships or connections in their life because they're very attached to this specific fictional character, they become very protective and defensive over this idea of them. You know, they don't want anyone to speak badly of this fictional character. But they are just starting to see, they're starting to see that they may be this investment, I would call it, into this fictional character is interfering with them being able to connect with other people or open up or kind of get out of their little world, right? Buggy can get very emotional over this attachment, and they want to be able to let it go and just enjoy this fictional character as the character they're supposed to be, as something that's not real, as something they don't need to be so invested in. They just want to enjoy this show that they like so much. So here they are. They're asking if this is just a phase, if they are losing themselves in this fantasy, if they'll ever be able to move on. So let's see. Let's use our cards to kind of pull some maybe advice in how to let go of this attachment. All right, we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Yo, we have the Devil. The Devil, hello, speak of the Devil, right? I'm sorry. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Interesting. Okay, that's pretty heavy. Just looking at the cards, those cards where we're normally grounded in reality, you know, the Pentacles card, that is the real world there. They're both in reverse, and these cards, these court cards are kind of leaving us stuck when they're in reverse. And then the Devil, you know, shows up. Why not? Okay. The Page of Pentacles in reverse, that can be representative of, you know, this may go a little bit deeper, of some kind of loss of security. This loss kind of knocked them off their feet. So I wonder if there isn't like a bigger attachment to this fantasy. We're using this more as a way to cope with something that was a little bit more of a harsher reality. And, you know, that doesn't have to be anything big. I don't know how old this person is, but, you know, sometimes when we're younger, even little things can be blown out of proportion. So just like being teased or an event in our childhood where we felt insecure could lead us to blow it out of proportion and lose that sense of security that we should have, right? Something created to give them security where they might not feel it. That's what we're looking at. Now, it seems like there's something Buggy needs to let go of. That Devil is a need to release, a need to let go, a need to free yourself. We're wrapped up in this. We're stuck. We're trapped, but we can absolutely move ourselves away. We can get out of this. This will not be something easily done because, again, they may need to dig down a little bit deeper and see why they put this in there, why they got so attached to this fictional idea. I don't know. Even like, you know, in childhood, if you had a really good friendship and then you had to move and then you're thrown into a new school and you have no friends, that kind of isolation can get us to develop a different kind of little fantasy world. It's just a way that our minds try to cope with something that we're not really sure how to fix, right? All right. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse makes me think Buggy's not ready. They still may be relying on this fictional character for something, some kind of emotional need. So until they're really ready to acknowledge what it is that they may be hiding from, it's going to be difficult for them to let go. So I think there's a little bit of work that Buggy needs to do themselves before they're ready to take the steps to where they can feel like they can cut free from this fantasy. That's not the most helpful advice, but it is a choice that Buggy needs to make themselves. They have to be ready, or else it may end up causing them more problems than good if they're not ready to do so. It's a big step, okay? This person may need to face some kind of difficult reality, or they may need to face a part of themselves, again, that they've been hiding from. And no one can force them to do that. This is something they got to do, right? Does it seem to interfere with them creating real connections? Yes. They're still relying heavily on the fantasy, but not quite ready to let go. Again, it doesn't seem like the best advice. Cards, hello, we could have done better, but maybe it could at least get them thinking, lead them to some kind of understanding about themselves that'll help them get to the point where they can let go, right? Now, let's move on from the fictional obsession to something a bit more real. We have Sage. Sage has been stuck on this guy that they hooked up with years ago. I'm not sure how many times they've hooked up with this guy, or if it was just a one-time thing years ago. At the time, this person told them they don't want to be in a relationship, right? And shortly after, they lost contact. This person was at least upfront, said, no, I don't want to continue this. Sage, though, has not let go. They have not forgotten, and they feel like they are obsessed with this guy and trying to reconnect to this person, even though this person will not accept any messages or requests from them. Sage still feels that they need to fix this connection, which to me, this doesn't honestly seem like it was ever a real connection. Now Sage is a little bit even more messy, because Sage is even in a relationship but has not moved past this guy. So, it's making him very sad, thinking about this guy, not being able to let go of this guy. This guy is on their mind. Why? We haven't seen them in years. They want to know, how can they move on? The Strength in reverse. The Tower in reverse. Ooh. The Queen of Pentacles. Hello, I love this queen. All right. The reverse Strength card. I think this person, this one night stand or whatever this was, Sage, I think, at least at this time, and probably still is, they were dealing with their own issues of insecurity with that Strength in reverse. And maybe they use this person as a way to be validated. Sleep with this guy, we feel validated. Ugh. Don't be validated by anyone else. Hello. Find that validation within yourself, okay? You are valid. You are valid. Even if Sage is in this relationship, they're in a relationship now, they're still very much doubting themselves. Maybe they don't think they deserve the relationship they are in. Maybe they're subconsciously trying to figure out what is wrong with them. So a lot that Sage needs to work out. And again, tied to insecurities, feelings of weakness with that Strength in reverse. We want to flip that around. The Tower in reverse. We need to build this for ourselves. The Tower reverse, the Queen of Pentacles, we're building the land, we're flattening it, we're growing it, we're cultivating it. Like, this is the starting point. We need to build that foundation. So it's time for Sage to let go of this person. They're not good. They're not good. So Paige, focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. You need to build up that security. Don't rely on someone else. Again, don't rely on someone else to give you validation. Don't rely on someone else to give you that security. That needs to come within. You need to figure out your own strength. You have power. So don't rely on connections to show your value. especially if this connection really has no value to you, to yourself. Don't expect that from this person. It's time to let go. It's time to come to terms with this loss. Hello, good riddance. Find your own inner confidence, your own inner strength. And that Queen of Pentacles is a good start. Finding value in what matters, in more practical things, finding your footing, finding your grounding. This is a big opportunity for growth for Sage. Sage needs to take it, empower themselves, and become that person that they want to be. Let go of this connection. Yes, you're obsessed with it. Let it go. Move on. This person is meaningless. Don't hold on to something, again, that adds no value to who you are, the life that you want, or the potential that you have for a better future. Find strength within yourself so you don't have to rely on anyone else for that validation. There we go. That's the lesson. Sage, let go of this person. Ugh. Sorry. Now, this next one is an interesting fixation. I've gone through my own little obsessions with crime podcasts. I still listen to my little crime podcast. Something about it, I don't know. A lot of people can understand. There's just something curious, a need to understand, to know, to solve the mystery. There's a lot of different things that intrigues us about these crime podcasts. Checkers says they are obsessed with crime podcasts, crime shows. They find it all fascinating, especially the gruesome details that other people may shy away from. Now, they say they have no desire in themselves to commit any kind of crimes. They don't want to be the perpetrator. They're interested. They want to know. Whew. But they do worry that their fixation on these podcasts is a little bit abnormal. And they don't understand why. They're kind of drawn to something that may disgust other people. And they want to know if this fixation is okay. Now, their friends think that they're fine. So let's rely on those people close to you to know best, right? But let's see. Is this fixation okay? Is that what we're asking? The Star. Interesting. Okay. The Queen of Cups in reverse. The Moon in reverse. Alright, is it weird that I see the Star as like, maybe there's some reason that you are being guided in this direction. Maybe you should actually explore a career related to criminal justice. Maybe this is the path for you. That Star can be guidance. Think about that. The Queen of Cups in reverse. The Queen of Cups in reverse. Normally, I would see that more negatively, like a manipulative or codependent person. But here, I feel like it's more of an ability to kind of take emotions out of it, remain a bit impartial, not get too emotionally invested, right? And maybe we need this queen who still has feelings, still has emotions, but we can kind of take a step back and not fully put everything into this. I don't know. Interesting. Okay. The Moon reverse. We could also see as maybe we need to explore a little bit about this part of ourselves. Themselves. Did I give a name to this person? Checkers? Was this Checkers? I don't think I gave a name to this person. Anyway, so sorry. Okay. Yeah, Checkers. Okay. So yeah, I think that maybe Checkers might have a knack for this career path, for criminal justice, for investigation. So maybe this fixation for them is something that could lead somewhere good. Okay? I'm not going to say that this is bad. Here. Follow your passion. See what you can create, what you can make of it, what career you can follow. I don't know. This may be good. There may be a specific reason. I chose that question because the crime podcast subject matter kind of caught my eye. Us crime junkies sometimes get wrapped up into the mystery of things. And sometimes again, it's good. Our little passions could lead us to the path that we're supposed to be on. And that's the first card we got. We got that star. That star is a guiding light in the sky. Follow this map, right? I like seeing the stars that way, rather than like hoping and optimism, like some kind of need to go this direction. All right. Our last topic, last question, moves on to the topic of tarot obsession. Now, Nikki is addicted to online tarot readings. Unfortunately, some readers, as we may be well aware of, readers on social medias, often those like pick a card ones, they'll often play into this kind of addiction. It's like, it's almost like gambling in a way. We kind of get that same little spike going. Do you know if he or she is thinking of you? That kind of question. You see those all the time. I see those all the time. I can't talk. You see those all the time. So, since Mickey's breakup, she can't help but be pulled into these readings, obsessed with knowing, but you see them everywhere. You see them all the time, all across, your For You page, if that's what you've been looking at, those tarot readings, you're going to keep seeing more. And those messages are going to start becoming very confusing and inconsistent, going back and forth, and we are just going to start spiraling. We don't know who to believe, what to believe, and then we're just going to feel sad. It's going to become depressing. Now, Mickey is still stuck on the ex, using these readings to find validation that he may still be pining away. And to make matters worse, the ex is also kind of stringing them along as well. Mickey doesn't know what to trust, what to do, having difficulties making this decision to just cut things off and move on. I can't say that getting more readings on the subject will help sort it out, so I guess Mickey's not specifically asking about love, so that's a start. Mickey is asking about how to stop getting drawn into all these readings everywhere. Okay. All right, we have the Empress reverse. We have the Ace of Cups reverse. And the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands, okay. So this kind of makes sense to me. Yeah. Mickey needs to kind of disconnect from this emotional investment that they have into these readings and into this ex so that they can move on. Hello. The Empress in reverse, we can be stuck. Nothing's being created. Nothing is being nurtured in the way it needs to be nurtured. Mickey cannot grow from the position that they're in. We can see the Empress also as like needing to disconnect. And maybe that is what we need to focus on, this keyword, needing to disconnect. Disconnect from these readings, okay? We got to turn things around, disconnect so that we can move forward, nurture ourselves, right? The Ace of Cups reverse again in this position. We are blocked emotionally, but as I said, maybe Mickey needs to stop giving their emotions, investing these energy into this person, into these readings that are not helping. Okay, she needs to trust herself and she needs to kind of find her own intuition to help guide her. Eight of Wands, moving forward with life, moving toward our goals, moving towards what we want. We need to get the flow going again. Mickey needs to be more direct and intentional with what it is that she wants specifically so that she can move on from these readings and this ex that are holding her back, right? disconnect, focus on yourself so that you can move forward in life. That's a good one. Fixations, obsessions, addictions, however you are perceiving the situation that you're in, you realize that you can easily get to a point that's going to create a very unhealthy imbalance in your life. You know, it's time to take control again. Ask for help if you need it, if you can't do it on your own. Nothing to be embarrassed about. Sometimes we get a little obsessed. Hello, it's okay. Ask for help if you need it. Not from a tarot reader. Don't go to a tarot reader to try to fix things. That's not gonna help, okay? If you are one who has a tendency to get very wrapped up, very invested into card readings, a tarot reader may prey on those obsessions, okay? They're not all good out there. I think that's about it for that rant. Thank you again. I think that'll wrap things up. Thanks again for listening. Don't forget to check out our other socials. Join me on our live stream or come back for our next episode. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.